This is your Delaware Art Center, located on Park Drive at Woodlawn Avenue in Wilmington, Delaware. Your Delaware Art Center, dedicated to the public by the Wilmington Society of the Fine Arts, and open to you and your friends for free use and enjoyment 360 days of the year. In many ways, your art center represents the fulfillment of the dream of many Delawareans, that an art center should be more than just a repository for paintings, but rather a community workshop. And so the Delaware Art Center was built with contributions from more than 3,800 donors, but it is now maintained for your cultural enjoyment by the Wilmington Society of the Fine Arts through membership dues, endowment funds, and the generous bequests of the late Joseph Bancroft. It is a friendly center where families may go for enjoyment of the arts of yesterday and today. Here you may visit the Howard Pyle Gallery and the Samuel and Mary R. Bancroft Memorial Gallery with its famous English Pre-Raphaelite collection of paintings. Or you may attend the monthly exhibits in the main Copeland Gallery. Here too are displayed from time to time the superb etchings collected by the late Dr. Charles L. Reese, and also the large folio prints of the Audubon birds of America, donated by Mr. Francis V. DuPont, and the permanent acquisition of the works of contemporary American artists, purchased by the Wilmington Society of the Fine Arts. Many concerts are offered to the general public, also discussion lectures, or you may attend the showings of art films, or any of the many programs for children of all ages. But perhaps you prefer to be more than just a spectator. You may wish to join at a nominal fee one or more of the classes in painting, drawing, etching, or other graphic arts, sculpture, or the crafts. Let us join this group and visit your Delaware Art Center. Hospitality and friendliness prevail in the Art Center, as on this occasion, the opening of the memorable Dutch show, a tribute to the founders of European culture in the Delaware Valley. And here they are, the 17th century Dutch masters. But behind the scenes in the Delaware Art Center, you'll always find it interesting. Now this is the beginning of the judging of one of the periodic exhibits, and in this instance, it is the annual Delaware Watercolor Show, open to all Delaware artists, members of the Fine Arts Society, and former pupils of Howard Pyle. We eavesdrop, as it were, for the next few moments on a scene never viewed by the public, nor the exhibiting artists themselves. Here is a panel of judges, each one an artist in his own right. And as you will see, the selections are made on the basis of merit only. The artists who submit their work are, for the most part, unknown to the judges, whose keen interest is only in talent and ability. And that is why so many new artists in our community over the years are often represented in the annual Delaware shows at the Art Center. Yes, this is really a working jury, and the assignment is quite often a day-long job. Juries for the shows are selected each year by different local committees, but during the actual judging, no one is permitted in except the jury and the Art Center staff, trained incidentally to make no comment nor give suggestions. This is most definitely a job for the jury. And every picture here is critically evaluated. The decisions are always thoughtful, perhaps sometimes painstakingly slow. There are 2 Delaware shows a year in your Art Center. One is devoted to watercolors and prints, and the other to oils and sculpture. And these annual shows began back in 1912, and in many ways have come to be regarded as the highlights of the season. For they represent the work of contemporary artists, a great many of whom have their studios in our community, and some began their studies and classes in this very same building. But these are really more than just exhibits, these Delaware shows. Prizes are awarded by the Wilmington Society of the Fine Arts and Friends of the Art Center. And also from these annual shows come many of the additions to the ever-expanding permanent collection of the Art Center purchased from the Copeland Fund. Furthermore, pictures hung in the Delaware shows are often acquired for private homes by visitors. And so it is that the Art Center becomes an excellent and important outlet for the work of these Delaware artists. It means this: an equal chance for every artist. For here the spirit of fair play offers even the unknown but talented painter a chance to exhibit his work. And it all adds up, of course, to balanced shows, reflecting the broad and varied tastes of the judges who display a keen personal interest in almost every picture. And out of this quiet room comes an array of paintings that are exciting, rich in local scenes, and yes, entertaining. For art can be and is entertaining. Now the scene changes as we greet the children who visit the Art Center, brought here by buses from the various schools for guided tours through the galleries. Children from the Wilmington Public Schools from all parts of Delaware. They arrive in a holiday mood, and they soon discover that the Art Center is really a most enjoyable place, refreshing and stimulating. And for many, this is their first visit to any art center. A pleasant afternoon in the Howard Pyle Gallery with trained personnel leading discussions. Here in your Delaware Art Center is the largest collection of the works of the famous Wilmingtonian, the late Howard Pyle, the master of American illustration. Here always on display are his canvases, alive with adventure, peopled with knights and ladies, buccaneers and patriots. These are the originals of the illustrations in the books that have become so dog-eared and well-worn through several generations of readers, young and old. A permanent display of the Howard Pyle paintings, also his pen and ink drawings, part of the cornerstone of your Delaware Art Center. Students in the technique of illustration come here from all parts of the nation to see these originals. But no one seems to take more delight in them than the youngsters for whom they were intended. Equally as interesting is the Pre-Raphaelite gallery and a few ancient musical instruments of the Benstadt collection displayed in this showcase. For years, among the most popular concerts offered at the Delaware Art Center have been the chamber music played on these same ancient instruments. And on the walls of this gallery is the fascinating array of the paintings of Rossetti, Burne-Jones, Millet, members of the romantic Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood, collected by the late Samuel Bancroft Jr. and given by his son and daughter, Joseph Bancroft and Mrs. Elizabeth R. Bancroft Bird, to the Wilmington Society of Fine Arts for permanent exhibition, another part of the cornerstone of your Delaware Art Center. The library at the Delaware Art Center is one of the most important services offered to artists and students in connection with studies in every phase of art. And this library is in constant use. It is the hub of research. And very naturally, the demands upon its source material are constantly increasing. Not only are the important art books added constantly to the shelves as published, but also the leading art periodicals of America and abroad. But yours is more than an art center restricted to so many walls in a specific building. The Art Center extends out into the community, into the schools. Prints, Kodachrome slides, and pictures, also textiles and objects of art, all are prepared for circulation. New material is always being added to the circulating exhibits, even recordings that tell the story of art and explain the educational program in the Art Center. One specific circulating exhibit out of the Art Center is a display of pictures relating to Delaware history and architecture. But more than just pictures, for with the prints are guides for teachers who use these materials. The story of the men who designed these historical structures in our state. All this leads to an everyday appreciation of the fine art of architecture as it prevailed in the early days of our nation in Delaware. Now, these traveling exhibits, by the way, are on loan to practically any group interested in any phase of the arts. Thus, the Art Center is a living institution, always opening new channels as it reaches out into all segments of our community. One of the evening classes in the Art Center. These and other classes are varied to suit your free time and your inclinations for study. Whether you are an experienced student or a beginner, a painter, sculptor, businessman or craftsman, parent or teacher, you will find enjoyment in working creatively with others. The chief purpose of these classes and the many other classes scheduled day and night throughout the week at the Delaware Art Center is to develop creative and imaginative abilities of children and adults. No, not many of those who attend the classes will become professional artists, but often work in classes is the beginning of a career, where each person may discover the satisfaction and self-confidence that comes as a result of creative study. This, then, in brief, is your Delaware Art Center, with its many activities, a place for all the people of Delaware. We hope you will use it as your art center, for your study and your enjoyment. Our membership in the Delaware Art Center is open to anyone, thus giving you an opportunity to participate actively in this expanding program. This is your Delaware Art Center, supported by the people and not by the state or city government. This is a friendly place, dedicated to the public interest, for young and old, youth and adult, a living art center in your community. You are all sincerely welcome.